What's up, everybody? Hello, Latice. How are you?
How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you so much for joining us. Listen, we've been in the backstage here just hanging out, just waiting for the show as everyone is.
Thank
So,
you for having me.
yes, we're so excited that you're here. I am just like super excited to hear your story, and I know everyone who's watching is as well. So let me go ahead and let everybody know. Listen, you guys, you're on Jesus Wired Live. It's me, Jessica Grace, your host, and our very special guest today is Latice Crawford. We all remember her from Sunday Best Season 2. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. Anointed vocalist, and I'm excited to hear from her. I want everybody, please take a moment right now to share this live. We're live now on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're just excited. We know it's going to be a phenomenal time. You guys, if you have questions for Latice, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. I'm sure she would be happy to answer your questions. So Latice, oh my goodness, you are here with us and we are excited. Tell me how you've been handling just, the quarantine right now, everything that's been going on. How are you doing? How's your family? Tell us.
I've been trying to keep my perspective about it in a very positive place. And instead of being like, oh, I'm stuck in the house, more so saying I have all this time, all this wonderful, wonderful time, gift of time to be creative, to rest, to
Love
eat,
it.
to do all of the things, to work on music, to just do all the things that I wasn't able to do when I was, being busy.
Wow, wow. So, I mean, has this time, that we've had to ourselves and just having to be isolated, has it, had an impact on your relationship with God? I mean, what have been your thoughts with that just as a minstrel, and just a Christian, just a believer? How has it impacted your relationship with God?
I'll definitely say as a minister and an artist, we give a lot of ourselves to everyone else. Sometimes we miss those moments to be refilled from our families and stuff because we're always on the go, we're always on the road. So this time for me has definitely been a moment for me to be a little bit selfish and just say, nope, I'm going to take this time to refill, to rejuvenate myself, to get back into my word so that I got something to say when I come out of here.
I love it. I love it. So as an artist, I mean, what does your, daily routine look like, for, I guess, devotion and just, preparing yourself for your day? What does that look like?
I'm a hermit. One, as big of a personality as I have, people find it very hard to believe that I am a hermit. On most days, I need a lot of time in my own head and breathing my own air. I live up in the mountains, so most of the time I'm
Oh,
secluded
wow.
away from most people. Yeah, because like I said, when you're giving so much of yourself and so much of your spirit to people every day, it leaves you open, for the enemy to
Mhm.
creep in and make you think things and make you feel things. And so a lot of times I
Yeah.
just spend time, just talking to God. I don't, it's weird because
Mhm.
I don't ever really recall myself praying like in the sense of like, Father God, in the name of Jesus. Like I feel like me and God, we go together, like he's my
Yeah, I
boo.
love it.
So,
Right,
I
right.
have regular conversations with him, just like I would any other person or any other human being. So when I'm not on the road, I spend my time doing that. I'm in a lot of prayer groups. Rejuvenate. I take counseling and just different
Mhm.
things, to keep my mental health in check.
I love it. And I was reading in your bio something about some of the challenges you faced as a young person, as a youth, when it came to just social, what was it? Social, it wasn't social, it was
Social
something dealing with
anxiety.
social. So say it. What
Social
was it?
anxiety. Social
Okay,
anxiety.
yeah. Talk to us a little bit about
Mhm.
that. Like, what was that like for you dealing with social anxiety as a young person?
I mean, as a young person, even now, sometimes I still
Okay.
deal with, the social anxiety. I think for me, I learned very early on a lot about it. My parents, weren't those very spooky Christians, who were like, and I'm sorry to say spooky Christians, but you know what I mean? The parents would just say, go pray and you'll be all right. They were very
Mhm.
much like, okay, no, this is not the devil. This is something that you're dealing with. Let's go and get information about it. And the more information I had, the more information I knew. We didn't have a whole lot of Google and all like that to look that, you know, at that point in time. So it was going to different doctors and just seeing what it was, and joining groups and stuff to see that I wasn't the only person that was dealing with it, that there was a lot of people who was dealing with it and didn't even know. So it made me not feel so alone in it. But I think very early on, my mom told me, find purpose for it. You know, that if you're going to go through it, find purpose for it. And so I, you know, felt like, okay, then I'm not going to keep this to myself. I'm going to talk about it. I'm not going to be ashamed. I'm not going to be shy of it. Nothing's wrong with me. You know, I'm going to go and talk to people about it. And so before I even started doing the singing stuff, you know, I was talking to people about this, you know, social anxiety and anxiety disorder, just so that people knew they weren't alone. They knew that if they found purpose in it, it can help them. And like I said, there's every now and again, I just need that moment to myself.
Yeah,
to gather my thoughts and gather my thoughts together.
Wow, I absolutely love it. I love it. Well, let's just kind of ease on into you as an artist. You're such an amazing artist. I've been listening to your music, and I'm like, this lady is anointed. So I wanted to.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed, indeed. So I just wanted to kind of talk about, you know, your style as an artist, because I was listening to your lyrics and I noticed so much substance within your lyrics. You know, it wasn't just typical. It seemed to be very real. You know, the things that you mentioned, even in some of your ad libs, I was just listening, you know. So tell me just kind of what has inspired your sound as a vocalist, because you have a unique sound, and also the type of music that you have been releasing, you know, the lyrics and things of that nature.
As far as my sound goes, when I was younger, I never really knew that other people couldn't sing. You know, I grew up in a family where the whole church sang, like the whole church was my family. So we all sang. So I didn't really realize that singing was like a thing or like a gift until I got to like junior high school. Shortly after, I lost my voice for about 5 years and could barely talk. If I talked too loud, I was hoarse for months and months at a time. And so I used to have a really, really, really high voice, like Mariah Carey-ish type of high voice, and lost it for 5 years. And in that season of my life, I was, you know, starting to date and, you know, really experiencing life, you know, and I couldn't talk about it. I couldn't sing about it. I had I don't want to say a lack of appreciation for my gift, but I didn't understand that it was a gift. I just thought, okay, everybody does it, right? And so I think that God had to take it away from me for a little bit so that he could make it what it is now. You know, this is not what my voice sounded like before. Sometimes when I'm singing at home compared to when I sing on a stage or at a church, I'm like, how was I able to do that there? But I can't do none of that at home. I think God really needed to make sure I understood that he did not need me. He didn't need my skill. I needed him to make my skill do what it did. And so around that time when I was like begging, like, can you please just give me just a little bit back, God? I promise you I won't take it for granted no more. I'm gonna sing every day. I promise you I won't do I was doing that. And Kim Burrell came out, and my cousin was like, Latice, you gotta hear this lady. She sounds so much like you. Well, I don't say that because that's a whole different kind of beast of a voice right there. But he was just saying that the type of voice and the raspiness and the type of choices we would make in songs and stuff. And he was like, there's somebody else that's like you. And I was like, oh, wow. And I was still learning what my new voice was and my new range was. And so she was a very, very big inspiration to me, vocally wise. Understanding that there is still room for our gift, that it may be a little different, you know, it may not be everybody's taste, but there's still room, you know, on the body for us. As far as my writing, I always felt like when I was in the church that they weren't talking about my stuff. You know, we talked about the general stuff about, you know, needing healing or a house or a car or this type of blessing, that type of blessing. And I was like, I don't really need any of that stuff. I just want God to help me stop choosing the wrong people. I just really want for God to, like, you know, help my heart or give me confidence. So then I was like, the same God that can do that stuff, I'm pretty sure he can do my little bit of stuff. You know, I'm not going to be a miracle. I just want you to give me some sense, you know what I'm saying? And so I wanted to write the lyrics of the things that we think, but that we may be a little afraid to say, or that we don't think that God can do because it seems stupid to us. Like, that's dumb. Why am I asking him to help me break up with this person? But truth be told, there was a lot of times that the person I was dating felt like the devil incarnate to me. And I needed God to help get me away It helped me get my life together. So I wanted to write about things that were normal, that were human. It didn't matter if you were a believer or non-believer, but things you went through in life as a human being. And when you were looking for something and didn't even know what it was you were looking for, I'm just trying to point people back to God, that the source, and the
Wow.
source that I use. So I write music that's full of symptoms that we all go through so that you can look for my cure.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, just, in your journey as an artist and as a singer, can you just kind of share a little bit with us about maybe how your faith has been tested in the journey? We've got so many aspiring artists and ministers who are watching right now, and we like to encourage them and kind of share testimonies of faith. So, kind of share with us how your faith, has been tested in your journey.
More recently, I lost my father 3 years ago, and then just March 1st, I lost my mom. And,
Wow.
I had to sit and watch her, my mom had cancer. And so, as a believer, we're taught, if you have enough faith, God will heal and he'll do this and he'll do that. And I was going based off of that, like, yeah, he's going to heal her. I know he's going to heal her. He's going to fix it. He's going to do it. And we were hearing the church people say, she's going to have a testimony after this. She's going to live and not die and all this stuff. And then she died. And like I said, that was just a month ago. And I was like, all right, now wait a minute, God, because then I got some questions. Now hold on for a second, because you told me. So are you trying to say that my faith wasn't strong enough? And I questioned, was I doing something I shouldn't have been doing? And he had to remind me that this was a part of his promise too. And that as a believer, we talk about heaven all day, but nobody don't want to do what we got to do to get there. So he said, if I don't heal it on earth, I will heal it in heaven. And so I had to really push through and accept. And then he also said, hey, remember all them people you had told when they family members had died that I was going to still do it and it was going to be all right and I was going to get them through it. I need you to believe what you're speaking. I need you to believe what you're saying. I need you to believe what you're telling people. And so my faith was really put to the test when I was able to still trust him even through this. Yeah. Wow. So it was tough, but I still believe.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I can remember losing my father and going through the same similar type feelings, because he was a preacher and a singer, and everybody was praying, so I mean, I was praying and thought God said something, too, that he was gonna live. So like, how did you push through that from a grief standpoint? A lot of people are dealing with loss right now. How did you kind of overcome that, from a grief standpoint?
I just, one felt like it, it's a part of life, and I wouldn't have wanted her to be here suffering, that was my selfish desire, like just keep her here longer. I still don't know. It's still a process that like I said, she just passed away March 1st before this whole pandemic happened. So I'm still figuring it out. I'm still learning what normal is unnormal, like this is not normal. Usually I could go outside or fill with other things. Can't really do that. So I learn every day. I definitely will not tell people that I got it, and I'm just like, I'm making it through. No, every day there's moments that I slip back and say, okay, God, now wait a minute. I don't know again, So I'm just taking it day by day. I'm allowing myself to be human, and I'm allowing myself to go through this season because the Bible gives me permission to do that. He said that to everything there's a season. And if Jesus could be over his friend, sure enough, I could weep over my mother.
Amen. Amen. It's a process. It is a process. So you have new music coming out soon, available for pre-orders. Tell us about this new single that's coming out.
So I dropped a single a few months ago called Amazing. So that's available now. You guys can go get it right now. Y'all can multitask. If you're on your computer, use your phone. Go and get it on all the digital outlets. But I'm also dropping a new song in a few weeks, actually. And it's going to be available for pre-order and then order. And I want you guys to stay tuned and make sure that you get it. The song, yes, it's talking about relationship. Yes, it's talking about the devil. I already told y'all. Sometimes they felt like one and the same to me. And I needed God to help me. But the song is really talking about how all of us at some point in our lives are looking for something to fill a void. We're looking for something that we think, we're looking for medicine. The cure takes a lot because you got to change the cure. Medicine, you get the same for. So for me, For a long time, I was okay with medicine. Like, all right, I'm gonna take this pill, I'll be good, whatever. But the song is just telling you that when you're looking for something, you need the something of all somethings. So the song's called Something Something. It's talking about look for the something of all somethings.
Wow. So I keep hearing you talking about, relationships and the challenges you've had with relationships. I mean, why do you feel like so many of us, I guess, deal with relationships that are bad for us or deal with people who are not really the best for us? Can you talk about that a little bit?
I feel like for myself, I never try to speak for anybody else. I think for myself that women get very used to something, and we think that that's the norm or what it's supposed to be. We're taught from early on that we're supposed to be, desirable, and we're supposed to be married. We're not taught to like live life a little bit. Figure yourself out, figure out who you are, figure out what you like, what you want. We're just taught to just follow somebody else. From childhood, like. One day you're gonna get married, you're gonna have kids. And so we start to make that our cap. You know what I mean? We never get into place like, who am I? What do I want? What am I trying to do? And so I think that early on, I got into relationships that I just wasn't really ready for and thought that was the normal. This is what I'm used to. I'm used to guys treating me this, so this must be what it is. And so I keep going back to what's familiar to me. But just because it's familiar doesn't mean that it's right. But again, it's also, like I said, that pill. If you keep going into a relationship that's not good for you, you get to act a certain way too, because now you're like, well, I get to act this way because this person did this to me. Again, the pill is comfortable because you don't have to change for it. You can still be the same person, toxic person you are, because you keep getting in toxic stuff. But when you really are looking for something that's going to be good for you, you're going to make the changes for yourself so that you won't keep going back to this. You'll start to notice, like, I'm not even attracted to that anymore. That type of personality, that type of thing, because now I've done the work in myself. So I really think that it starts with us, like our self-work, becoming confident in ourselves, confident in what we bring to the table, confident in the fact that we are the us, but also understanding that we are a rib, which means we are a part of your body, and we're not just going to sit here to the side and just be treated like trash.
Amen.
Because you're not going to stab yourself in your own rib. So don't be treating me like I'm not a part of you.
That's so good. That's so good. Well, I want to kind of talk a little bit about the business side of, music and being an artist, because I know that you signed to Entertainment One, E1, back in March of last year. What has it been like, being with a label? What's the difference? What's the adjustment look like for you just as an artist, doing things on your own and then signing with a label? How does that feel?
This is not my first time being signed with a label. I was signed with RCA Inspiration when I first, got off Sunday Best, and then I went independent, and now I'm back with E1. I think both of them have pluses. When you are doing it independent, you're funding everything on your own. Yeah, you have more say so, but a lot of times, all you're putting out, you don't always get it back because you are everything and all. So it started to become a lot of pressure for me as an artist to be able to be creative, because I was also having to handle a lot of the business stuff, alongside my manager. But when I got to the label, like I said, you have other people that are able to operate the machine while you're able to just kind of be creative. And, you still have to handle business and everything. But thank God I have an amazing manager. I have an amazing label. And the way that they collaborate together to make sure that my vision is brought to light is amazing. No pun intended, but pun intended. Go get the song.
I love that. So what advice do you have for aspiring artists who are watching right now and they've kind of been struggling a little bit with getting, started and getting themselves out there? What advice do you have for them?
I would suggest that they become comfortable with the part of the body that the position that they fill in the part of the body. Like, we're all, music, is this big giant of a body. And I think sometimes we look at the leg and we think it's more significant than a toe. And we're like, oh, but try walking without that toe. You're going to be stumbling and falling and everything. So just be comfortable with the part of the body that you are. You don't have to be the biggest part, but you are still significant. And as long as you're comfortable with that, then, you'll be comfortable in your gift. Your gift is not going to be for everybody. So if you have it in your mind that what you're writing is about to make the whole world jump, you're going to be disappointed. It's not. But be confident in who you're supposed to sing to. And don't always think that everything means you have to be a recording artist. There are some people who are the greatest praise and worship leaders out there, and they make a lot of money from doing that. Also understanding that if you are in this business, and I'm going to say business, that this
Mhm.
business is not your ministry. Your ministry is what you get to do as a result of your business. So handle your business and you'll be able to do your ministry.
I love that. That is so good. So good. Well, we're getting ready to kind of wrap it up here, but I did want to ask, I know so many who are watching would love to hear you sing. So I
Yeah.
wanted to know if you could sing just a little bit of something for us before we wrap it up.
Sure, let's see. I'll sing amazing. Let's see. Hopefully I can remember the words. Um, it's getting tight in this space. I put my own self in. You had other plans for me. Didn't trust them. I couldn't believe you could love someone like me. So I locked my heart away, threw away the key. You snuck behind my wall. Mm. Even though I didn't look the greatest. Mm. You love me even more. Yes, you did. And you accept my flaws. You're so amazing. You're, you're amazing.
I just want to have a fit. I want to have a fit. I love it. Oh my goodness. I just love the jazz blend and just everything you've got going on. It's beautiful. And
Thank
you're
you.
so real, so authentic. I just love that about you and in every way. Someone was asking for some tips on beauty real quick because your skin is just absolutely amazing. Did you have some beauty tips for the ladies watching before we go?
I always suggest putting on your face what you would put in your body. So if you
Mm,
wouldn't put the soaps that you buy in the store in your body, then that's not what you should use. There are plenty of, homemade stuff that you can make that's really simple. I use a lot of turmeric masks for toning. I use lemon, like fresh
oh,
lemon, for keeping my skin tight and keeping dark marks off. Lemon is a natural lightener. Almond oil is really good for dark marks. So there are a lot of things just look and see what's good for your skin and your skin type if you have oily skin or whatever. But yeah, I won't use any store-bought soap from any kind of yep. Any kind of
wow.
store.
Wow, turmeric and lemon and almond oil. That's awesome. Okay. I love that. Well, everybody, listen, we're here with Latice Crawford. She's absolutely amazing gospel recording artist. She has new music coming out, I think, in a week, right? And so we
A few
definitely,
weeks. Few weeks.
a
Stay
few
tuned
weeks.
though.
Okay, so make sure you follow Latice. She also has music out right now, a single entitled Amazing that she just finished singing for us, and we want to support Latice. Latice, will you offer some last encouraging words to everyone who is watching and just would love to have an uplift during this time that we're in right now?
Yeah, you guys stay creative, stay happy, stay safe, stay home so we can get out the house. And
Right.
just stay lifted. Enjoy this gift of time that we
I love it. Well, thank you again so much for stopping
have.
by. All
Thank
right,
you.
everybody. You're welcome. Everyone, thank you again for watching today. Listen, tomorrow we've got Jacqueline Carr. She's going to stop by Jesus Wired Live, same time, same place. Don't miss it. And we'll be back to talk again. Take care. Thanks, Latice.
Thank you.